Tracy Stewart. I was shocked at the passing of Kelly Preston, and I really don't mean to be disrespectful, but does John Travolta suffer grief like quote-unquote normal people, or does he genuinely think, as apparently he did with his son, that Kelly has passed on to other thetans, etc.? How do Scientologists cope with bereavement in their human form? Also, what's your favorite Rush album? Mine is Permanent Waves, Free Will, but I love them all, really. Hey, Tracy, thanks for the dual questions there. I will get to both of them. First off, I get it that you're not trying to be disrespectful. And so let's go ahead and address this, right? I mean, I think I've talked about grief in the past in Scientology and the death of loved ones and how Scientologists think about it. And basically, it is not that they are passing on to other thetans. It's that you, me, John, Kelly, everybody are a thetan. That is who you really are. You are not your body and never were. No part of your physical existence, as far as Scientologists are concerned, I'm talking from a Scientology point of view here, all Scientologists believe that you were never your body. That your body has as much significance to who you really are as a can of Coke. It's just not a thing. You've had billions of bodies, billions, an unthinkable number of them, of lifetimes that you have led in the past, both human form, earlier forms, animal forms, anything you can imagine, pretty much. I mean, over the course of billions or trillions of years, a lot goes down. And this is you. So it's almost thought of, okay, so there's the intellectual side of this, and then there's the emotional side, okay? And most of the time when we discuss Scientology, we are talking about it from the intellectual, emotion, rational, this is the rules, these are the guidelines, this is what the dogma says, yes, it's abusive, this is what goes on, but mostly it's about the rules and the ideas and the belief set. So we can sort of remove that, looking at that from the humanity, actual humanity of the situation. So when I'm going to talk about thetans and bodies and stuff like that, I'm talking about it from that perspective, not from the human perspective of people experiencing the loss of loved ones, okay? So what I'm trying to do is paint the picture of what the belief set is, because the belief set informs the reaction to the loss and the actions that you should take as a result of a loss. So in this case, because Scientologists believe this so heavily, especially by the time they've gotten to the level where John is at, where they're on the OT levels, I mean, by that point, you are all in on being a thetan, not a human being or a body or Homo sapiens or whatever you want to call it. That you've totally bought into this line of thinking. And again, in terms of whether this might seem strange or not, I'm describing all of this in Scientology terms, but if I flip the script on you here, this is really not that different of a concept from a Christian soul or a karmic spirit or something. I mean, if you believe in life everlasting, that you have lived before and you will live again, then if there's any part of that you believe in, then you're aligned with Scientology in that regard. And most people on this planet who have religious belief of some kind have this supernatural idea that we're going to keep living after we're dead. Now, whether we've lived before or not it changes up depending on, what religion you're talking about. Scientology has this past lives thing. Christians, I guess, have the idea, I suppose, that your soul is newly created when your body is created or something. I don't really know how that. I've never really engaged with a Christian on that point. I'm kind of curious about it, actually, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it. When is a soul created? And how does it inhabit a human body? And is it a physical thing, or is it a holy spiritual manifestation like a thetan that doesn't have real existence in the physical universe? I don't know. These are good questions, I think, to find out from the Christian perspective. And I'll probably find about 1,000 different answers to this question. In Scientology, there's only one right answer. So anyway, just trying to play a little compare and contrast there. This isn't a hit at them or anybody at all. I'm just talking about the topic. So, okay, so So that's the belief set. So how do Scientologists deal with grief? Well, they tend to bury it, okay, is what ends up happening. Because the fact of the matter is that whether you have this belief set or not, it informs how you respond. You are still experiencing a loss, and that loss of a loved one, no matter how you intellectually define or describe it, is still going to hit you at a biological, emotional level, a physical level, if you will. And that's what we experience as grief and loss, is this idea that this individual will no longer be part of our life. And they are gone. They are no longer contributing. And they're no longer present. And it really sucks. It's this loss thing, right? So Scientologists do feel those emotions. They absolutely, they feel them. How could they not? Unless, of course, there is something, wrong with them in terms of neural or biological factors. But, we're talking about normal people, normal Scientologists and normal people, quote unquote, here. So in that context, Scientologists feel grief like everybody else. They cry, they hit the walls, they scream, they cry, they get upset. But they are smoothed over, or, succor is provided, or they are comforted by the fact that their loved ones are not dead at all in any way, and in fact haven't really changed their existence in any way, except for the fact that they've sloughed off this body, which is basically the same thing as a change of clothes for you or me, right? You change your beingness, you change who you are. Scientology term, beingness. It's your identity. It's who you are. So that's what changes when you quote unquote drop your body. That's how they talk about it in Scientology, is you drop your body. I dropped it. I don't got it no more. And you move on. So to that degree, if you really were all in on that belief, and I have been, and I've experienced loss as a Sea Org member and Scientologist because other Sea Org members or Scientologists died. And my response to it was not just to shrug it off. I definitely felt the loss of it. Oh, man, damn, that sucks. I'm not going to be able to talk to them anymore. They're not around anymore. I feel sorry for his wife, his child, in the case of this man who had died of a heart attack. Another person I think had an accident, the tragedy of it, the timeliness of it, the untimeliness of it rather was devastating to us, because this was this one I'm thinking of right now was a young woman in her early 20s. I mean, she just shouldn't have died at all. And yet that happened, right? So how did I process that as a Scientologist? I was like, damn, that sucks. And really upset about the loss of it. But then, okay, I hope they're okay. Gonna go get another body. I hope they remember enough of Scientology to come back. You kind of have that in the back of your head, because that between lives, people are compelled to, spiritual, Thetans are compelled to forget their past lives. This has been a cycle. This has been going on forever. So why would this be any different? Well, hopefully their exposure to Scientology would make it different. And Hubbard actually addressed this in the materials of Scientology. He said, one of the biggest fears Scientologists have is kicking off and not remembering anything. And so this is one of the way Hubbard told Scientologists to deal with this is to read his books, listen to his lectures, get trained as an auditor, and that way you'll remember it and you'll be able to overcome the mental traps and implants of the between lives area. So this is touched on quite a bit in Scientology. This is an acknowledged thing. So anyway, I thought I'd give that information to you about this. And I think that answers the question. Hope that's of use to you there. And then as far as my favorite Rush album, you said yours is Permanent Waves. Mine's a toss-up between Moving Pictures and Power Windows. Moving Pictures, of course, being the album that features Tom Sawyer. But my favorite song on that album is actually witch hunt about censorship. I love that song. And then there is all the songs on Power Windows are 100% up my alley as far as Rush goes. That to me is the best Rush ever, and that's mid 1980s Rush. I know other people have very strong opinions about their favorite Rush, and I'm not even arguing about it. I'm just saying that's where I'm at. So thanks a lot, Tracy, for the question.